What matters is the image.
Physicists are enemies of the electrical science.
Yeah.
Physicists want to control everything.
Yeah.
They want their theories to rule the universe. It's a religion, is what it is. It's destructive religion.
Yeah, rather than it's faith-based rather than fact-based.
Well, it's all based on gobbledygook.
Yeah.
You know, the more theories you throw on this whole quantum thing is like insanity. You know, I mean, I've ran with nutcases on the street that's more sensible than these quantum people come up with, you know?
Pythagoras and Plato, they get silenced, and how they did this was, of course, Rome shut down the Neoplatonic schools in the 6th century. Justin the Emperor, the criminal, did this so that the Aristotelian buffoonery can overtake the world, and the world has gone after Aristotle and his moronic, materialistic teachings like Darwin and Newton and Einstein, and all these will go down in history once they're revealed as buffoons. They've played the part of buffoon perfectly well. They are imbued in worldly wisdom, which is foolishness in the eyes of the Creator, and they give glory to themselves. These are glory seekers. They don't give glory to the Creator. They don't care to. They want the glory for themselves, and that glory will be removed from them, and they will be put to shame. They will be written. Their names will be written in the book of shame for all of eternity for the disgraceful harm that they've done to humanity for teaching such ridiculous stupidity that we live on a ball and I'm upside down. And it's funny that my body is actually being sucked onto this 1,000-mile-an-hour spinning ball, hurtling through space at 67,000 mile an hour. Horrendous stupidity, and people just go after this madness. And yet, little butterflies will flutter by and just not pay any attention to the gravity that keeps me sucked to the earth. And so, but we've all been sucked in by it. We've all been drawn in by the lies, because the bigger you tell them, the harder people fall. So, so my purpose in life is to, bust all the fictions, as I call it. I use an Australian colloquialism, and to deflate this Humpty Dumpty globe and Santa ball and buffoonery, and bring back the ancient science.
The Coriolis effect states that when a moving object leaves the ground, the Earth continues to rotate, meaning that when shooting a gun at a certain distance, the bullet would be a little off due to the Earth's rotation. If that's the case, then airplanes would have to account for the Coriolis effect, but they don't. This is only a few things that work better on a flat, motionless Earth. Do you need 100 excuses as to why you're not feeling any motion or seeing any curvature? Are those excuses easier to believe? Or is it easier to use Occam's razor and go with what our senses are telling us? The Earth is flat and not spinning.
Now, real quick, let's kind of just explain the Coriolis effect in layman's terms. The Coriolis effect is the effect that when the bullet leaves the barrel of the gun, it is actually leaving the surface of the Earth. So as the bullet leaves the barrel of the gun, the Earth is still rotating, and the bullet is not rotating with the Earth. So the Earth will actually rotate out from underneath of the bullet while it is in flight.
Weather is a constant blending of the basic elements: air, water, and sun. It all starts with the sun. This tremendous white-hot ball of gas, 3/4 miles across, supplies the power that drives our weather machine.
There's no fusion in the sun. They don't know how the sun works.
The sun is a gigantic atomic furnace, consuming itself at the rate of billions of pounds of matter per second.
It's not burning anything. It doesn't have to. It's a converter. Of what? I don't know. Nobody knows. But that's what it does. That's the only thing it can do, because that's how...
And the weather certainly influences our daily lives. Yes, we have always been at the mercy of weather. When the weather is nice, we are happy. If the weather is hot and muggy, we tend to be frustrated, irritable, and even criminal. But if the fog rolls in, we are apt to be depressed. Thunderstorms cause fear and apprehension. Icy winds and...
Wilbur Voliva, a famous flat earther in the early 20th century, gave lectures all over America against Newtonian astronomy. He would begin by walking on stage with a book, a balloon, a feather, and a brick, and ask the audience, "How is it that a law of gravitation can pull up a toy balloon and cannot put up a brick? I throw up this book, why doesn't it go on up? That book went up as far as the force behind it forced it, and it fell because it was heavier than the air, and that is the only reason. I cut the string of a toy balloon. It rises, gets to a certain height, and then it begins to settle. I take this brick and a feather. I blow the feather. Yonder it goes. Finally, it begins to settle and comes down. This brick goes up as far as the force forces it, and then it comes down because it is heavier than the air. That is all." David Wardlaw Scott says, "Any object which is heavier than the air, and which is unsupported, has a natural tendency to fall by its own weight. Newton's famous apple at Woolsthorpe, or any other apple when ripe, loses hold of its stalk, and being heavier than the air, drops as a matter of necessity to the ground, totally irrespective of any attraction of the earth. For if such attraction existed, why does not the earth attract the rising smoke, which is not nearly so heavy as the apple? The answer is simple, because the smoke is lighter than the air, and therefore does not fall, but...
What difference does it make if it's a globe or if it's flat? They're stealing your money and showing you cartoons and CGI while they steal your money.
Wouldn't that make a difference if it was a globe or if it was flat? Because they keep showing you cartoons of a globe. They show you CGI of a globe. They show you Hollywood trickery of a globe. They're stealing your fucking money. If it's flat, that begs the question, hey, what the hell have you been showing us this ball for all this time? What have you been doing with our money? Did you guys go to space? Did you guys just make this shit up and stuck us on a cartoon ball? They stole your mind. They stole my mind. They know what you believe is bullshit. They basically stole our minds and enslaved us by showing us a picture of a ball. Said, here's what you live on, it's a ball.
Sir, have you been on the network?
No.
You know how I know? I tried to debunk the flat earth and I failed. That's how most of us get started. We try to debunk the flat earth and we fail.
It's playing everywhere. Tech's trying to shut it down.